Hey YouTube, it's Lisa. It has been exactly a week since I had my DNC. I had my DNC last Thursday, and today is Thursday. So, and I would say for those of you who are going to be having a DNC or have recently had a DNC, I would say today is the first day that I'm heading back to normal. In fact, when I got up this morning, I had lost 5 pounds of water weight, and the water retention has been really hard for me. Just kind of, it's like insult to injury because you're already feeling sad, you're already feeling like your body went through all of this and you have no baby to show for it. And now you have all this additional weight. Like I thought I would actually weigh less after the DNC, but I weighed more. So, so anyway, I'm feeling pretty good. I'm still having some bleeding and I'm really hoping that goes away soon because it's you can't wear a tampon during this time, so it's not like a regular period. Your cervix is still open, so you can't wear a tampon. So it's really been affecting my life with my other kids. I usually take them swimming every Friday. We're doing a birthday celebration for my son this weekend, and we're going away and we're staying in a hotel with a pool, and I can't swim, and I haven't told my kids yet. So that is that. But I have an amazing husband who is really supportive, and he will help me make it happen without my kids being suspicious or thinking it's weird. So that being said, we still have not told our kids. We have not told my mom because we don't want to tell my mom. Oh, my mom's brother had an aneurysm, and my mom was in the hospital with high blood pressure, and for those reasons I feel like I can't tell her right now. And because I need this to not be associated with my son's birthday, we're waiting for the final birthday celebration to be over before we tell the kids. Okay, so that being said, this was actually going to be my video about peace from miscarriage, but since I rambled about my DNC, I'm actually going to put this up about a week after the DNC, and then because my kids are in preschool, I am going to go ahead and make the peace after miscarriage video. So ideally I will get these both up today, ideally, yeah. And my son got stitches yesterday. My 3-year-old got stitches yesterday. So it just goes to show you that you never know. But I wanted to say one more thing about the DNC. When I first had, and it's the Cytotec versus DNC. I think I'm saying that right. Okay, with my first miscarriage, my body had no intentions of doing anything on its own. So I had a doctor that did Cytotec, which is little pills that they put behind your cervix. And within 3 hours, I was miscarrying. And I would say the whole process of being pretty miserable, being in a lot of pain, and then actually passing the actual fetal tissue was probably, really the contraction started about 20 minutes after the Cytotec. At about 3 hours after contractions and lots of heavy bleeding, I actually passed the fetal tissue. It was pretty horrible because I was miserable. I don't know what my doctor was thinking because he didn't give me any pain meds. My husband had to call in for some pain meds and then go get them because it was awful. So, but then about 10 hours afterwards, I was actually feeling okay physically. I was feeling okay. So this time when I went in and I found out I was having another miscarriage, my regular doctor was out of town, and I found out that the doctor that was on call for him or taking his patients while he was gone does not use Cytotec. She only does DNC. So I scheduled my DNC and I went in and had it, and like right after the DNC I had no pain, and I was feeling pretty comfortable, and I told my husband, oh my goodness, like if I ever had to do this again, which God forbid, let's hope I don't, I would do the DNC because I didn't have to labor, I didn't have contractions, I was under. And also one of the really tough things about passing on your own is, oh, it's tough both ways, because when you pass on your own, then you have the fetal tissue of your own, and then then there's the struggle of what to do with that. My first miscarriage was really early, so I was very confused about what to do with the tissue. I mean, it wasn't super early, but it was early enough that it did not look like a baby. My second miscarriage was, and I had a D&C. The tough part about that is you don't get the fetal tissue to take home or anything like that. So you kind of leave with you kind of leave empty. So it's both. It's awful to see the tissue. It's also awful to not get to have the tissue, to have it so medically, so clinically removed. So anyway, so that's something that each individual would have to make a decision about how they wanted to do that. But I found out to be a struggle both ways. And then with the D&C, I think, so afterwards I told my husband that would be my choice if we ever had to do it again, which, praying that we don't. But then 2 days later, I was miserable. All the water collected in my neck, in my legs. It was awful. I read how they fill you with gas, they fill you with water. Nobody told me about that. I was so miserable. And I would say that my recovery was much longer. And even though initially I thought it wouldn't be, but then I was miserable. And I don't know if that's normal or if it was just me. I am a water retainer by nature. So the Cytotec versus the D&C. I might say I would do the Cytotec again. Number one, you can have closure with your baby, and number two, my recovery was actually better from that. It was like 6 hours of initial pain, but then I was almost back to normal the very next day, versus the D&C, where the procedure was much more simple, but I did not get to take my actual the fetal tissue home, and I also didn't, and I was miserable for about 4 or 5 days afterwards. So yeah, so that is my recovery story and my D&C story, and kind of making choices. And as usual, I apologize for the way I look. I actually worked out this morning for the first time. No, I would say I worked out for the first time yesterday, but I wouldn't even call it working out, because I was kind of like, just going through the motions. But okay, that's that. And I am going to close this video and go ahead and make my my miscarriage video, because that is one I'm really super passionate about, and I'm really looking forward to. That's not really what I'm looking for, but I'm hoping to share it with others, and I'm hoping that it helps. So, all right. I love you, YouTube, and I love you, all you mamas out there trying to conceive, and you lucky ones who have conceived. And have a great day.